Welcome to NeedleXChange, conversations on the art of thread. I'm Jamie Chalmers, aka Mr. X Stitch, and today I'm interviewing Charlie Reeder. Charlie's the force behind Stitchsperation. Think bold typography, unapologetic colour and cross-stitch that's basically a pep talk you can hang on the wall. Charlie and I get into imposter syndrome, including the world's rudest inner voice, Brenda, why cross-stitch can be genuinely meditative, and how stitching affirmations can help you reprogram the doom gremlins in your head. If you've ever felt that wobble before doing something big, this episode's for you. I love talking to Charlie. She's been a designer on my magazine for many years, and she's an awesome individual. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss part 2 of our conversation. And if you care to leave a review or share this with a friend, crack on. You have my blessing. We'll be back next week with the second part of my chat with Charlie, so until then, enjoy the show. So on Tuesday this week, I went down to London because it was the awards ceremony for the Hand and Lock Embroidery Prize, of which I am one of the judges, which is terribly fancy. I know. I went down on the train. It was marvellous. I spent the whole day talking like this. I tell you what was nice, actually, was I got the train down because, like, Crew, you can get to London in like an hour and 40 minutes or 2 hours or something, but you have a choice, and the choice is, do you want to pay £300 for a train that's the same distance, or do you want to go off peak and only have to pay like 60 quid? You know, it's so ridiculous. So I got down to London at about 1:30 in the afternoon, and then walked from Euston down to Trafalgar Square, and then went and had a look around the National Gallery, which was lovely.
Nice.
Like, wandered into one room and went, oh look, there's Monet's water lilies. I was just like so naive, because I haven't really had a look around there and the whole thing, and because I'm trying to open an art gallery as well, I was like taking photos of like how they've hung things on walls and just noticing their signage strategy and all this kind of stuff. But I put like classical music in my ears, which I don't really like classical music, but on BBC Sounds, right?
it felt appropriate.
Yeah,
right?
There's this thing called Piano Focus. It's just kind of contemporary piano music. I just had that on, and I just wandered around. I looked at a piece that was from like 1262. I looked at pieces by Seurat, and there was Vincent van Gogh, and there were Degas. It was just really nice to kind of feel out. I spent about 5 minutes looking at these water lilies, just having a proper look, because I was like, I'm going to have a proper look. And then after that, I went to the Hand and Lock Awards, where, as I say, I was one of the judges. So this year, the other judges included Diana Springle, who is a needlework legend, an artist of some repute, a lady called Jenny King, who does embroidery and textile art, predominantly to do with theatre and film, Philip Tracy, the hat designer. I can't remember the names of the other people now. That goes back to the menopause thing. But in previous years as well, Esme from the Sewing Bee was one of the judges, and so was Dame Cornelia Parker, OBE, one of the country's most celebrated artists, right? So then I'm like, Jamie Chalmers lives in an office in Crewe, talks about a bullshit for 17 years, and somehow people think he's worthy. And then I'm just like, my imposter syndrome was like fired. And it was really interesting, because I was just like, oh, man. Because I said it once as well, like one time I had to go down to, this is good, I'm going to talk like this again. One time I had to go down to Radio 4 to be on their Saturday morning show with Reverend Richard Coles, and it was and I was nervous about that, and I had a little word with myself, but at the same time I was like, oh, I like this, because life doesn't make you feel that uncomfortable that often, and if you get the opportunity to like feel it, it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about imposter syndrome.
Yeah, that's the thing, you did it. You went like that list of incredible people, and you but you didn't go, oh no, I'm not going to go, I can't do it.
No. And
you asked me to do this, and I so many times I've gone, oh, I don't, maybe, but why? Why do you want to talk to me? So but then I was like, seriously, Charlie, suck it up. It's Jamie. It's Jamie.
Yeah, for God's sake, it's just that guy. You've known him for a while.
We've talked to each other 100 times.
We've been very disrespectful towards each other over the years, so it's all good.
Absolutely.
It's all good.
So it's that feeling, the fear, and doing it anyway is definitely.
I think it's so funny, like our lizard brains, and just the way that they will get in our heads over just the littlest things. It happens quite a lot, just when dark thoughts meander in, and you can look at them and go, I think you're gaslighting me, brain. I think you're just trying to make me afraid of stuff that isn't real.
Yeah, I've got a thing. You give it a name.
Right.
Because think about it. If a friend said the things to you that you say to yourself, you'd be like, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I don't
get
want
out
to
of my life.
So no shade to anyone called Brenda, but that Brenda is in my head, and when she starts giving me the, really, you can't do this. What do you do? What? I go, shut up, Brenda.
Yeah.
Like, and it's that literally like personifying that, that voice, and just telling it to shut up. It's actually quite powerful.
Have you heard of the book The Untethered Soul?
I have heard of it, have not read it.
Yeah, I got it on audiobook because I interviewed Kirsty MacLeod, who is the curator, founder of the Red Dress Project, featuring over 300 different embroideries on a dress that has travelled throughout the world. There's a good one to Imposter about. But she said that was one of her favourite books, and it was interesting because in that book it's kind of like you go, who am I? And then you go, okay, but who am I asking the question now? And it's all this thing of just trying to peel apart the layers, And when that little voice comes along, like you say, you give it a name, you call it a Brenda or whatever, and then you go, so Brenda, I see you, but then I'm also talking to you, Brenda. So who am I?
Oh God!
Do you know what I mean, though? And then you're just like, I don't know what the answer is to that question.
I don't know.
It's really weird.
But, yeah, that is weird. But I think it's just, the voices are always horrible as well. It's always the negative. It's always and it's like, why can't there be a voice that's like, fuck yeah, you can do this? So that's what I'm trying to find that. I think that one's Charlie, actually.
She's a badass. Do you think that the power of cross stitch might be a place? I haven't done this because I don't get any chance to do any cross stitch lately, but the process of cross stitching, the meditative of this, maybe that's a place to go exploring into those depths because you feel like that's a safe space.
Yeah, it is. I do. I think one of the many reasons I love it is that it's like you're focusing on one thing and you're just going. And then something I've been, I don't know, toying with. Now I'm potentially have my mojo back. I was thinking about, affirmations. Like, obviously a lot of my stuff is text and type based, but like if you're stitching something over and over again, if what you're stitching is also an affirmation, it's that repeating thing. And I think that's something that I kind of want to look into, because be nice to yourself, say nice things, and nice things happen.
I've got a lot of time for you, so I give you permission to use my power mantra concept. It's not that I've trademarked it or anything, but I did a workshop recently. I got invited to do a workshop for, weirdly, the leadership team of Cheshire West NHS Trust. Hard to explain the reasons why. There are reasons why. But in there was like the chief exec of like the trust for the NHS or whatever, and they had a bunch of boring PowerPoints, and then I came along to do a cross-stitch workshop and just, laid the smack on them. It was awesome. But it's that thing of going, I said to them, I was like, I'm going to teach you how to cross stitch, but what I want you to do is I want you to think of a short word that gives you strength, a short word that counterbalances those Brendas in your head. Because what we're going to do is we're going to stitch it as a power mantra, and it's exactly that point. You're going to spend an hour. If it was strong, or for one woman, boobs, you're just going to spend time stitching that word. And so not only have you got the centering from the stitches, but you've got the repetition of that phrase, which can only be a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. We spend so much time, like I said, being negative, like looking at social media, comparing ourselves to things, constantly taking in this. Now, I remember things that happened to me that were negative when I was like 18. Like a specific encounter in a pub, and I still have it now, and I'm definitely older than 18. And I don't remember the nice things that happened that evening, but I do remember the nasty thing that one person who I've never met, who I will never see again, or I've never seen again, who probably does not remember it, but still 20 odd years later,
10, 20 years, nothing big.
Some years later, I still remember it. So why? What, like, I just trying to reprogram that to be something, think of the positive things, focus on the positive things, and stitch the positive things.
I don't remember the positive things that happened yesterday. I mean, there were many, but
that's it.
And I think that would be such a sweet spot for your work, because ever since, and I don't really remember, I was trying to think, when did you start Stitchsperationing? How long ago was that? 2015? Earlier?
I opened in 2016, so nearly 10 years ago.
And I reckon I must have caught wind with you fairly early on.
Yeah, I think I came to
Handmade Fair is where I feel
handmade. No, it was knitting and stitching. It was Olympia. I came to check it out in 2017.
Right.
And I was like, it's Mr. Exton.
It happens a lot.
Having a chat with you, and I gave you. I was like, okay, he knows I exist now. And then I did it, and then the following year, I was like, well, I've scoped it out, and I came along, and then that was when you were like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah,
the crazy girl that came up and gave me a tote bag.
Just for anybody who's listening, Charlie and I have been through an hour of therapy between us beforehand, so that it's not all awkward, this conversation. Yeah, no, and that's the thing. So, but like, what I've loved about you is you literally come out and it's just like volume up to 11. Like there's so much joy in your design, straight out the flipping bat, straight out of the bat. You're just like, bang, unapologetic, really cool, really strong design sense. Can you explain yourself, please?
But you know what? No, I can't. Literally, I don't know, which is really helpful for a podcast. It's that I know what I like. I see things, I don't know, and it just makes me go, oh, I want to do that. Or I think I started with, I just moved back to the UK from living in Canada, had no money, needed to have a wedding present for a very cool couple that I was going to their wedding in Sweden. It's like, well, I can't afford to buy them anything. I'm going to make them something. I'll do a cross stitch. And then I was like, oh, what do you cross stitch? I mean, this is again 10 odd years ago.
Mm-hmm.
What do you cross stitch for the really cool people, Swedish people as well, that you want to impress and you want to? And I just couldn't find anything that just felt right. And I was like, I've been thinking about designing cross stitch. I was a quilter before that, so I was like, how hard can it be? You know, I've always been a textile-y kind of person. And so I got my graph paper out, drew. Yeah, and then I looked at what I'd done and I was like, well, I don't want to make it, I just want the words to stand out and, you know, pop. I hate that word, but yeah. And so I was like, well, how about I just try painting the background and then stitching onto and make it, rather than being a one color piece of fabric, making the fabric behind. So I painted some, got some fabric medium and all this stuff and faffed around for a while. And then I started stitching and I was like, oh, this is something. This isn't like, I haven't seen anything like this anywhere else. And it wasn't very much the time of Pinterest that was lots of kind of watercolor backgrounds and text, just affirmations and various. And I was like, maybe people would like this. But also I started with very watercolor and I was like, that's not me. I'm not so much a pastel, but I am a, neon,
punk.
Make it bright. Yeah. And so I just started doing it, and then it literally just came to me. It sounds really ridiculous, but when you have something that you can do and you don't understand why people ask you how you do it, because you don't think about it, you just do it. I don't know if that's
that's called having a gift. That's like, I'm all right at singing and other people aren't, and even that, you just take these things for granted because you can do them.
Because you've always done them. Like I've always, and like design has always been a part of my life. My mum was a quilter, and then I decided one day I wanted to quilt. I've been a jewelry designer. I've had so many different lives, and it's always, I don't spend a lot of time sketching things out. I just kind of see things in my head and do it. Although that being said, I have literally in the last few months I was just sat, I was ironing. I am someone who still irons, and was like, oh, that would be really cool. Just a random thing just popped into my head, and I grabbed a sketchbook and just started. And I'm now literally went from sketch to digitizing to turning it into a stitch. And I was like, oh, normally I just hit straight to the computer and like find cool fonts I like and then fiddle around with things that way. But actually going right back to a sketchbook was a whole new world for me. But
that's very cool.
I don't know.
How would you can you describe your aesthetic?
Anyone who knows me just goes, oh, it's very Charlie. I don't know, my aesthetic, I guess typographic bright shit.
Yeah, brilliant. I think that's the strapline, isn't it? Well done. That's why you do so well on Pinterest, because people just I just need some typographic bright shit.
Well, that's it. I'm working on my SEO. We need to. But yeah, I'm really rubbish at words, considering my my whole business is words.
It's fine. It's there's no like fixed answer there, but it's interesting because your typography, your positivism, there is always a strength of color. Sometimes it's the letters themselves, isn't it? But a lot of the time, particularly like when you started, it was backgrounds with strong phrases over them and just a lot of like power.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I hadn't thought about it like that. But yeah, I guess it was always like Stitchsperation was supposed to be it was supposed to be inspirational things that you stitch. That was I guess, my initial thought behind it. And then, yeah, power, positivity, and trying not to be not toxic positivity.
Yeah, and not even being like girl power either. I was conscious of that. I was just thinking, it's not girl power. You're girl and you're doing power, but you're not doing girl power. You're doing everybody power.
Because, well, that's it. Because I think everyone needs some power. There are so many people who don't have it. Like, that's, obviously women also, but it's...
Can you remember where the name Stitchsperation, can you remember when that popped into your head?
I honestly don't remember. I was living in I don't know, actually. It just came.
It's like, I'm the same. I can't remember when Mr. X Stitch popped into my head, and you wish you had a story for it.
I wish I did. I remember the lifetime before with my jewelry and my quilting. I remember sitting there for hours going, what can I call it? I could call it this, I could call it this, I could call it... And having that big process of like writing all the words down. And this, it just was there. It was like 1 minute it wasn't there, and the next minute it was. And that, I guess, sometimes feels like that's why it's supposed to be.
Yeah. You and I, we've had the hippie conversation. It can be fated. I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
It's meant to be.
That's so funny. Was that the first time you'd done cross-stitch then, when you were coming up with this wedding idea, or were you kind of cross-stitch familiar prior to that?
No, I started cross-stitching a couple of years before, maybe 2-3 years before. And I did a lot of like Satsuma Street stuff, and I can't even think now. It was a definite moment in time, but it wasn't. It was good, and I really enjoyed it. But I would often change the colors on things, or I would like try and make it my own without changing it, because I'd had no idea what I was doing. And I actually started cross stitch because the needle's not as sharp as a quilting needle, and I'm really clumsy, and I wanted to be able to have something. I used to do a lot of machine quilting, and so hand stuff, I couldn't sit in front of the TV of an evening and do hand quilting, because there would just be blood everywhere, because I was literally just stabbing myself. So I needed something that was not as sharp, I've still managed to draw blood with cross stitch needles, but
takes some doing.
I decided to, seriously, I do not know how I've done it. but yeah, I just decided I need to do something in front of the TV that isn't doom scrolling. And I could pay attention to the TV, but
who does that?
Doing one thing at a time. So I just started doing it, and then it, then I moved back to the UK, and it was the whole gifts and no money, and suddenly 10 years later, nearly, here I am.
So I just want to say, please don't try needle felting. That usually has 10 needles on the go at the same time. You would die.
I have a whole box of needle felting stuff.
It's very satisfying, isn't it?
It just very painful. Very painful. Yeah. Sticking a barbed needle through your finger. Yeah. But good fun, but more painful than a quilting needle.
So where was the turning point then? Because so with me, started cross-stitching, did a couple of patterns, realised that most of the designs for men were a bit like bad Father's Day cards, those kind of content. So then discovered software, worked out that I could make my own designs. And then I think just thought, maybe I'll put them on Etsy for shits and giggles. Like, how did that go for you? How did you make the decision to become?
I think I was stitching the piece for the wedding that is now one of my kits, because shit just got real. I was like, that's a good wedding gift, right?
Perfect.
And I was stitching it, and I literally was just like, well, it feels like something. There isn't anything like this. Why don't I see if I can make it into something? And I immediately had like the first, I think, like 3 or 4 ideas in my head. And I spent, I think I started, that was 2015. And then it took me a year to actually like work out what mix of stuff I was going to use to paint the fabric, what my first few kits were going to be, my packaging. And it just all, I'm sure at the time it didn't just happen, but it felt like it was just this organic process that just happened. And oh, look, here I am. And then I pressed the button on Etsy, and that was it. It was just that there isn't anything like this, so let's do it. And that I think that's something I love. It's that creating something that doesn't exist yet. That for me, seeing something in my head and then going through to the thing in front of you, I think, I don't know, I find it really, I guess, empowering.
Yeah. It's a form of magic. I remember Alan Moore, who like wrote loads of the best comics that have ever been written and stuff. And I think he said all ideas are kind of magic because you're taking nothing and you're turning it into a thing. It's like this alchemy, whether it's a bridge or an ice cream flavor or a cool cross stitch pattern.
Yeah. Anyone, I think, that can do that is magic. It's like, makes me think of the book Big Magic.
Right.
Where she talks about ideas, and like there are ideas kind of floating around, and if you have one and you don't act on it, it will go. It's kind of like an energy that doesn't. It's like, okay, well, you're not going to see this through, so I'm going to move on to someone else who is open to do. And I think that's why I recently, any ideas I have, I'm like, I'm in. I want to work on this because I don't want anyone else. This is a really good idea. I want this to be mine. So yeah, I think it's definitely a special thing to be able to do.
It's weird. Do you know what it's making me think of? And I don't really know why. Like when you walk on a foggy day, right? Basically, you're just walking through clouds, and the rest of the time the clouds are really high up in the sky, and these ones are really low down. And if you're lucky, you can breathe some clouds. It's not the same at all because you don't then turn that into a saleable product. But do you know what I mean? It's that rare thing, isn't it? If these things are all around you and you can take, like you say, the opportunity to act upon them, you probably just have to get out your own way quite a bit. I feel like you're quite good at that, getting out your own way.
I have my moments. I feel like I've been in my way for the past couple of years, but I mean that's life. But I do feel like, if you've got an idea, if you've got something, get it out there, do it. Like, what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah, literally pointing and laughter from the whole world. Brenda.
But no one cares. That's the thing as well. Something I've learned recently. It's like you're so worried about what people think of you, and it's like no one cares because everyone's worrying about themselves more than anything else. So it's like just do it. And okay, there might be some people who point and laugh at you and ridicule you, but there will also be people that see something and go, oh my god, I love that, or I've been thinking the same thing, and then you're not an idiot. And then it's worth it, I think.
I think sometimes as well, in some ways, having a few people that point and laugh at you makes it a valid thing. Like, and sorry if they're listening, but I remember when I started doing this podcast, I was like, I'm going to see if there's any feedback about NeedleXChange. I'm 6 episodes in, what do you think? And there was a Reddit forum where someone was going, oh, he's called it NeedleXChange. That's a bit of an easy win, or something along those lines, just dissing the choice of name. And I was like, okay, what's your podcast? Oh, you don't have a...
And that's it, though. It's like there are always going to be people who, like, trolls and people who are just going to pick apart anything you do. But you're right. what have you done? Like what? And it's the people that I used to find this when I made jewelry years ago, and then actually at like, I don't know, knitting and stitching, one of the shows, when people just go, oh, so the fabric's just painted, and I'm like, yeah, la la la. Oh, we could do that. We could just do that, and I'm like, yeah, you can. But I did, and it's that, like, anyone can do any of these things if they actually want to put themselves out there, and be open to the ridicule and the pointing and the laughing. But also with that comes the good stuff too.
I think at some point you get to that point of like, you see people, even people who are like doing the same thing and actually doing it, and you can be gracious about it. And you like, if that person says, oh, we could do this at home, you should be like, yeah, you bloody can, and go on and do it and bring it back and show me, because I'd really love to see it. You know, to get to that point where you can be like, do it, like, take all my ideas. So this thing behind me here is David Bowie. No one can see it. Designed by Tom Katsumi, which was actually in the same issue of X-Stitch magazine as Follow the Call of the Disco Ball that is up behind you, right? And Tom did that, and that's just CMYK, so it's just 4 colours and all of the stitches, and it works really well. And he did RG Bombshell, Marilyn Monroe, red, green and blue. And so good.
Everything he does is so good.
So annoying. And he's really nice. It's so annoying. And he did that RGB idea, and I did a piece called Killers when I was noodling around, and I had this thing. I was like, I wonder if you can do RGB. I wonder if it would work if you kind of, do that. And then Tom's come along and just smashed my idea into the ground by being brilliant about it. And at first you're like, oh, but I'm not, because I'm just like, amazing. Like, well done, son. Yeah.
It's the same, but it's different as well. It's like all of us are all, doing a similar thing in one way or another. But you just want people to know about it. Whether we're the same, whether we're different. But yeah, when people smash it like that is.
I mean, I've had it happen so many times. I've got an artistic idea, and I'll tell you about it offline, because I keep telling people, and then Tom bloody Katsumi's probably already done it and he hasn't shown me yet. But but it's rare. But there is, I just think with this stuff particularly as well, anything that gets people trying cross stitch and they get that feeling in their soul that you get from doing cross stitch, and you like, do it, steal my ideas. Don't steal my stock. But
yeah, I was just going to say, like, the stealing ideas, that's also fine, because it pushes me to do something else. Like I found I had for a while, I had people like, painting the fabric is not a new idea. It's not my idea. I don't own it. Like, anyone can do it. But I was like, okay, well, what else can I do then? What's going to push me? Or if you're always pushing ahead and you're always trying to do something new, then people can copy you all they want. But as long as they don't catch up. And I think that's I don't know, I feel like I want to just keep on keeping on.
Yeah, keeping on at the frontier, because I think you have been a bit of a frontierswoman woman to some extent.
Yeah, I hope so.
I think so. Tell me about your background. Like, were you crafty as a kid? All of that? You said your mum was a quilter and you were a quilter.
Yeah, I've crafty as in my bones. Yeah, my mum is a quilter. I was doing textile. I always kind of lent towards textiles. Like, I did art textiles A level when I was at school, so I did loads of screen printing and various things there. And then I used to make clothes, but not from patterns. I would go, I need a new skirt to go out tonight, with this random piece of. I had a friend whose mum was an interior designer, and she had a bunch of offcuts of like purple upholstery suede, and she's like, I'm getting rid of it, I don't need it, do you want it? And I was like, okay. Took it home, pulled out a sewing machine, pulled a zipper out of a random cupboard, and made myself a skirt. And that night went out I would just make stuff. And I think so, just going, I've got this thing, but I'd like it to be this thing. Okay, let's do it. And not being afraid, I didn't do this right. If you don't do it right, just do it again, unpick a bit or chop it off and sew a bit more. Like, I was very much experimental, doing whatever felt right. And then I think down the line a bit, I then went in, I started making jewelry. I had surgery on my thyroid and was off work for a while, and I was oh, I'm just going to make some jewelry because it's something to keep me, you're right there.
I was going to sneeze. I just muted myself because I was going to sneeze, and then all I did was pull a stupid face at you. Sorry. Yeah, I was going to be like, oh, like I'd done a bad fart. Yeah, sorry. Carry. It's good, that, isn't
it? But so yeah, and then I would make jewelry, and then I was working in an office, so people were like, oh, I like that, and I'm like, would you make me one? Okay. And then turned into Etsy, and I don't know, I always feel like I end up trying to monetize my crafts, which is not necessarily a good thing. Maybe it is a good thing. But yeah, so yeah, there was the jewelry time, and then I went into my quilting era, which was a whole other thing. So craft is, if I don't do something creative every day, I think I would go crazy.
Did you progress any further in that direction, or have you got a degree or anything?
I have a degrry.
Sorry, are you really fit? Have you got any qualifications? That's not the way I'm pitching that at all, but yeah, right, sorry.
I have a degree. I have a degree in professional acting.
Okay.
So
I mean, not... Yeah, okay, yeah. All right. I'm going to circle back to that.
Are you judging me?
No, it's like a degree in it. Because I've got a degree in psychology and sociology, and I had to do a dissertation and stuff. But
I did not. It was from when I knew it was something that you could do. I wanted to be an actress. That was my big goal in life when I was a kid, and I wanted to go to the Bristol Old Vic Theatre School. That was, gold standard. Not all now, but like many of the great actors of our time went there. So that was my goal. And just what I applied, wasn't bothered. I didn't do a UCAS form. I just applied to go there, got through the ridiculous numbers of auditions against not a billion people, a lot of people. I think it's like 2,000 at the time. It was like 2,000 people for like 5 female places,
right,
or something. So like it wasn't easy to get in. And then after I got in, they were like, oh, by the way, we've partnered with UE, and now this is a degree course. So I was going to do the course anyway and become an actress, but I was like, oh, yay, I've got a degree. I don't really care that I have a degree, but a lot of people do. So, you must have a degree for this job. I'm like, I have one. You don't want to know what it's in. I didn't have to write a single essay. I didn't have to. It was all practical.
Is it?
So, yeah.
Like, what do you, like, I don't know, what do you have to do?
It's a long time ago. Yeah, it was performances and just general, we did various shows in various theatres. We went on tour. We did, there was a lot of...
Are you like...
that kind of thing.
We're going very off the needlework, but we have to now. Sorry, it's going to happen. So are you like more serious drama, musical theatre, other genre that doesn't spring to mind?
Not musical theatre. You do not want to hear me sing.
Really?
I will say that.
You've got a rich baritone voice, haven't you?
I have sung on stage and actually got paid for it.
Amazing.
To find
just the once.
No, I did a whole run. Like
of what?
Six days. It was pantomime, but
that's right. There's no judgment here, for God's sake.
But it was that was a whole thing. But it, like anything. I mean, I really enjoy doing TV. I love doing radio, voice work, all of it. Really. I mean, it does feel like a whole other lifetime ago.
You would never go back to it? I reckon you should go and smash that Amdram. I reckon you should just be one of them people who wanders in. Hi, I've never done this before.
The thing is, I don't like, this is going to sound like such a dick thing to say, but why am I going to do it for free when I used to get paid to do it?
Oh, yeah. That's good. I
have a mortgage to pay. But it's also, I think, I've considered it, but it's also that, like, I'd get really frustrated with the people who, bless them, really want to do it but can't. I come from a dance teacher who used to scream at me, point your fucking feet, and throw shoes at me when I was 8 years old.
Right.
Like, and that comes into my, like, just get it. So yeah, maybe control freaky, wanting to, I just think it's a bad idea.
I've also...
And I don't want to be a bitch.
I've got a friend who is involved in the Lyceum Theatre up here in Crewe. She runs the youth theatre side of things, but she's just started doing an adult theatre. I don't know, it's sort of Amdram adjacent or whatever. And she says there's lots of people who, not lots of people, but quite lovies, like people who may have done, people who've nearly touched the stardom and then come away, but now they're in their like mid to late 50s and have strong opinions on how things should be done. And she's like in her 30s and is a very accomplished, like young director. She knows her stuff. I'm not entirely sure I agree with you there. It's like, shut up. Shut up.
That's the thing. It's no, like absolutely no shade on it. I think it's amazing and it's a really important part of community and all that stuff, but it's not for me.
No, that's cool. Although,
give me the money.
Yeah. Although if we ever write a sitcom about cross-stitch designers, I can't even finish the end of that sentence. That sounds like a dreadful idea.
Yeah, please don't.
I wanted to talk to you about design. Do you know what I'm going to get your take on? Tell me your take on art versus craft versus design, just for a laugh.
Oh, God.
I know, I probably should have prepped you on this.
Holy moly, Jamie. My take on it.
Okay, so, some people, cross-stitch has this unique position where it gets pigeonholed. It gets pigeonholed as a hobby as opposed to a craft. It gets pigeonholed as a craft as opposed to an art. And yet you are someone who designs. And I wonder how that all lies with you.
Yeah, you're right. It's funny because a lot of people think that craft is a dirty word, but it's because there is that whole I
remember once I heard this lecture by a guy called Paul Greenhouse, who I think was a lecturer at East Anglia University, something like that, knows this stuff, and he basically said that art versus craft versus design is basically brown eggs versus blue eggs versus white eggs because it's all the same. And the mistake that people make is that they get hung up on the medium and they decide that this medium is oil painting, it must be art. This medium is needlework, it must be craft. This medium is felt tip pens, it must be a hobby or something like that. So you get these weird classifications in that direction. But then the other thing that he said, particularly in relation to art versus design, is the size of the audience, right? So an artist does a piece of work and really it's like a one-to-one relationship. The only thing that happens is the artist makes work and everybody has a different experience of it. And that's kind of why the art's put out there. It's not very restrictive. Whereas with design, the idea is everyone has the same experience with it. So a well-designed chair gives everybody the same experience. And so that's one way that you can kind of separate art versus design. For me, that makes me comfortable because I don't want to be an artist, but when I was making the magazine, I want to design something that is nice for everybody. I'm not putting my soul on the line for it. I wonder if that helps.
Yeah, I feel I guess for me it's for me I'm not an artist. For me, I think because I'm designing things for, like you say, for lots of people, because I want people, whether they're stitchers or not stitchers, to like what I design and want to be able to make it themselves. I want that. And I think I definitely wouldn't identify as an artist because to me an artist creates something that is put on show. It's that it's one thing up there that people come and look at, whereas I'm no, this is a relationship. This is something that's more of a I design things for you and then I want to see what you've done with what I've designed and bring it back, and then have that kind of conversation.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
But then the whole people judging the medium because it's a hobby because it's what my granny used to do. The number of people that say, oh, cross stitch, oh, my granny used to do that. Or it's that something I remember talking to you about a long time ago, the whole bunny rabbits in wheelbarrows. No shade on bunny rabbits in wheelbarrows, but there is something for everyone.
There's room for more than just bunnies and wheelbarrows.
But there is room for more. And I think there is that kind of, I don't even know where I'm going with this bizarre train of thought. It's all the same. It's just the way you look at it, the angle that you come at it from, I think.